evening, everyone. Welcome to the Manchester United Agenda. Another slow day of news, so we'll do our best this evening. Wow, what a...
Okay, what a. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think what he was going to say was what a beautiful day to be a United fan. No doubt he will be jumping at bath time. We'll be jumping back in. Look, obviously you can see we're all smiling. Everybody knows what news we've heard today. Yaba did a video a little bit earlier on. I did see him driving in his car illegally, but we won't go into that. Allegedly illegally is what I should say. Yeah. So yeah, look, at the moment, I'm you know why we're here. We're here every Monday, but obviously this morning, Ten Hag, we heard that Ten Hag got released from his job, which was good news in itself. And then you hear that they've been doing their due diligence on Amorim, sorry, who I know a lot of people in the chat have wanted to come in. So it's been for me personally, it's been a good day to be a United fan. Bath time.
Yeah, sorry, my computer crashed, which is
That's all right.
Wonderful, isn't it? Rather like this team.
Check your settings, but mic
Your
settings.
sound's a bit fluffy. Yeah. Sound like you're under a pillow.
Yeah.
That groan sounded the right time. Oh, he's gonna.
Oh my God!
Oh, he's gonna get.
He's getting DDoSed.
Look, let me go through some of these comments before we do actually get into what we've come up for. Mark Coram, how you doing, man? Good evening. Ten Hag gone. Wonder what is next for United. More problems for us. Starting from square one again. Big up everyone on the show too. Jeff, how you doing, my friend? Wow, players sack another manager, and he helped too. I think he helped a lot more than the players did, really. Yeah, hopefully Rude the man does well for the few days that'll be in. Yal Marlin, if things are rolling as fast, he is back. Sorry. If things are rolling as fast as I can see now, it looks like Amorin could be confirmed before the stream starts. I don't have to be that quick, but yeah, Ruben Amorim is the next boss. We'll get onto that anyway. Big T, Christmas has come early. You can look forward to watching the team play. James, I knew you would be happy. Oh, happy days. I knew you would be buzzing.
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Bring out the whole choir.
Marlin again, results. He was unable to improve the players he bought. Two of the major reasons of him being sacked. He did not listen to what the club was asking him to do. We will know more in the next coming days. Let's go. If there's any more, there is a couple of starred ones, but we'll leave those for a bit. Andrew, how you doing, man? Matty Bassett, how you doing? Bart, a serious fan. I know you can't come in and try and mock us today, my friend. Agile Beast. Well, a steal at 8.3 million. I'm not sure that's quite a steal, but as I said, we will get onto that. So, guys, look, obviously, it's been a joyous day. But as you're at the top, Yaba, we know you backed him right up until yesterday. Hold on, we have a guest in the house.
Greetings.
Let me have some manners. Bath time. You want to do the introductions, my friend?
Yes, hello everyone. How are you all doing? This is my friend Canny, who you can find on Pappy's channel a lot of the time. Canny, delighted that you managed to click the link and you've joined us on time. And it's a pleasure to have you here. We're currently discussing what Yaba, the gentleman above you, feels about Ten Hag being sacked, because I mean he's compared himself to Thelma from Thelma and Louise, with Louise being Ten Hag as they both drive off a cliff together. So it's a pleasure to have you here, and just jump in whenever you like.
Okay, no, thank you very much. Thanks for having me, guys.
Right,
I don't know
Yaba.
what's happening with my camera, so I had to use like a makeshift one. I apologize for the poor quality. I hope next time.
Makeshift. You can make your own cameras, yeah.
I had call me Kodak Kani.
Yaba, the last of the Ten Hag inners. Come and talk to about your feelings, man.
That's untrue statement there, Mr. B. About
it is bath time. Don't forget what you got ready, please.
Okay.
Oh, do I have to?
Oh yes.
No. It's okay. Do what you need to do. I know this is a time for celebration and mockery as well, and putting the boots in. And when bath time said to Canny, jump in whenever you want. Hopefully, Canny's not going to put the boots in on me. Here's a simple thing. When I heard today, I was actually happy about this. I think it's the right decision. I think Ten Hag's done everything he can. But I respect the man. When I say I respect the man, he's been part of a transitional process, what needed to happen. Someone needed to be brave enough to come in to change the culture, have the discipline to don't give a damn about reputations and say, I'm coming in to fulfill a job, open heart surgery, which Ralph talked about, which needed to be done. Now that and hard work. Oh, that's a joke. It's a comedy show. I love it. I'm good at this. Well done. But you need sound effects. That sounded good. Stop me for a minute. What's going on here? If you've got the finger on the button, just put that in whenever you hear me talking about it.
It was because you mentioned Ralph Ragnick, to be honest.
All right. Well, there you go. I won't mention Dan either then. So, yeah, like I say, I think he came in and done a vital job. Now, all I'm here to say is I want to give some respect to Ten Hag. He's taken over while he was at the club. I support anyone at the club while they're there, no matter how poor you might think they are. We want to win. We want to deliver. I think tactically, as Benny McCarthy said, he's up there, got great tactics. But it's about being a manager. You have to deliver your point. You have to get it over, transfer it over to the players. And they weren't able to take that on board for whatever reason, personality clash. He wasn't able to connect with them to get them to represent him on the pitch. That's what a manager has to do. So you could go to UEFA B school or you get your A license, whatever, and have all the great tactics, all the solutions to any kind of formation or any kind of counteract any kind of team you're playing against. But if you can't get you haven't got the personality to deliver your message, especially at a high level with top class players. It's different to being a big fish in a small pond at Ajax. If you can't do that at a club like Man United, it's a learning process. And hopefully we'll go away from this and understand to be a good manager at the high end, like Carlo Ancelotti, like Mourinho, like Ferguson. They've all got something about them which they can get over and get through to big paid, big money, big stars. And that's what Man United have, big club as well. The spotlight was on him, and it's a learning experience, I believe, for him to what he's come out with. Now he's got to go away and think about it. He's been at the top. What did I do wrong? And have to reflect, take a look at himself and say, how can I get my message over to the players better than I did at Manchester United? Now, Grant, I'm going back, just going to repeat what he done, the good things. Won us 2 trophies, minor trophies, I don't care. It's still trophies. The league position was poor. Like I said, he wasn't able to transfer his good tactics over to the team. They didn't pay for him. But he done the thing without getting rid of Sancho, changing the culture. Look what he done with Ronaldo, stood up to Ronaldo, done that. And I think that's what we need going forward, that discipline to say, if you're coming to Man United Football Club, we got our shit together here. We ain't messing around. So when Bellingham or the next Bellingham turns up, has a look around, he's not going to turn his nose up. He's going to look, this is a proper club. And that's what we need to start representing for, again, being a proper club. So in time, maybe in history, you might look back and say, Ten Hag, he was the man who made that transition, was the catalyst to change. He sacrificed himself. And I'm not going to say make him out to be a martyr, but I'm trying to look at some positive what he's done. Now, I'm really looking forward to the next manager to come through. I think it's the right time and the right decision was made. But I just want to say congratulations, Ten Hag. You tried. Unfortunately, you weren't able to get your message over to the players, but I wish him well in the future.
Brilliant, Amondi. I think it's very true that we have to respect the fact that he won us 2 trophies. Those were great. Those were great days for me personally, and I remember them. Not so sure about changing the culture as Rashford ended up getting hammered on a night out and then
he got fined for it, and he had to apologise and take a time on the bench.
There we go.
45 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
culture change. Only takes 45 minutes, doesn't it? Right, Dora, you have joined us this evening. Are you a happy little Croatian?
Of course I am. I mean, it's not a good thing, celebrating someone losing a job, after,
Of course it is.
you know what I mean. Like,
Throw
another.
tomatoes at him. Boo.
Boo. Another 2 seasons wasted. You could argue 3 if you want to discount his first season, being third and winning that cup. But to a season and a half wasted, after spending 600 million euros, during his reign. I think it's kind of not the greatest feeling, but I'm glad that this. I don't know. This tragedy, I would say, and comedy for the rival fans is finally done. I'm happy that he's gone. I wish him all the best in the future, but he obviously had huge flaws with the way he operated. He underestimated the Premier League. He underestimated the physicality of the league. He was. People are saying, that only Ineos were responsible for getting him the players that we signed this summer. I believe that he had a lot of say as well, hence why we saw not just this season but the season before that and the season before that one, that summer, players that are too one-dimensional. They are specialists who are not flexible enough to be adaptable to the system and everything else. And finally, the way he made his team play was not sustainable. As you can see, I mean, everyone from Coventry City last season to Luton Town and Bournemouth, who have beaten us 2 times less. Like, it's just tragic seeing these lesser teams coming to Old Trafford and literally pounding us every single time they come. And finally, this tragedy is done. And yeah, hopefully, whoever comes in, hopefully they don't underestimate the league. Hopefully they know what they're doing. Hopefully they will employ the system that is going to work. And finally, some of the players in this squad, once again, it's not all Ten Hag's fault. I think the players need to take some of the responsibility. Some of them stay there welcome too long. I'm looking at you, Luke Shaw. I'm looking at you, even Bruno Fernandes as well. I'm not even on the fence anymore. He's been pissing me off in the last 2 seasons. He's been underperforming nonstop since Ola left. He's been absolutely horrendous. So, these players finally need to go, and hopefully we will see. Finally, we will see some kind of balance in this team, because I'm just tired. Honestly, I'm tired. Everyone, I'm tired, Robbie. I cannot take it anymore. Like I've been depressed last 2 seasons. Like it's not fun anymore to watch United. For example, that West Ham game that we watched, on Saturday or on Sunday. Sorry, like I just sat there and we missed so many chances, and then I already knew that we are going to concede, and then we concede. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, it's so expected. I mean, it's getting boring, this script with Ten Hag. It became very boring, honestly, and I'm glad it's done. And hopefully, we employ someone who knows what they're doing.
That'll be good. Canny, it's a delight for you to join us this evening. Tell us what you're thinking about Erik Ten Hag and him being sacked. What's going on?
Yeah, it feels a little bit of a relief to me, for the man himself as well. I think he was stuck in very muddy waters that he couldn't really, hobble his way out of it eventually. And I think for the best, both parties, it only works well that we part company. I don't think there was anything. I think the players lacked. They lost what they had for him. The sort of to look down to the dugout when the chips were low, especially during in-game tactical changes that we saw. He was failing to give instructions from the dugout through to the players, and key players such as Bruno, such as Rashford, were still reverting back to the same old, more of survival mechanisms of just Hollywood passes and Rashford running through the alleyways. We saw that still reoccurring in second halves. We were a team of the first half, and that was totally unsustainable football at the end. And just like Dora was saying, he totally underestimated the magnitude and how immense and the physical aspect of the Premier League as opposed to what he's more used to in the Eredivisie, and that has been what has made him, get sacked. And also, I think we should also look at him and say, you kind of Ten Hag screwed Ten Hag, if I were to say it in
This any person that's going to.
I'm a wrestling fan, so I remember being saying this to one of my favorite wrestlers, Bret Hart. So his stubbornness. This man was so stubborn that I feel if he had the ability, some level of adaptability to try and even, tweak formations during games or before games, or play, have tactics that are designed to just beat that team, the opponent in front of us. He could have been still in the match. He still could have had some pedigree to him, because we could have scraped certain games that we lost. We would have stayed in games that we threw away. But him keeping on, getting stuck and having faith in these players that have constantly been letting him down was astonishing for me. Even when you look at the last two games, he had people that he literally purchased this summer on the bench and reverting to the players that were almost out of the door. So that alone just is amazing to me.
Yeah, I agree. I always felt that his death knell was a little bit not using Ugarte, who was a big sort of summer signing. He would have been an unused sub 3 times in a row if Casemiro hadn't got injured. Right, boys and girls, we've got to do the comments. But when we get back from the comments, I want you to tell me where you were and how you found out that Ten Hag had been sacked. Because I've got an amusing story about that. Right. Boys and girls in the comments, there's so many of you here. Like, we're gonna do our best to get through it. But you know that this channel is not built on organisation, it's built on sex appeal. Right? That's what we're here for. So we're going to start off with Dale Griffiths. There's 2 players that have survived 5 or 6 managers, Rashford and Shaw. Not pointing fingers, but these could be a problem. I think, Dale, that after we've done the comments, that'll be the next topic about the players. Like, what have they got? Because I've got a nice picture of Roy Keane to show you all. One Don MUFC 45, all the way from Brazil, is saying we're not getting any more managers. We're getting a head coach now. We will see. Agile Beast is saying Ten Hag can count his 17 million while he reflects Yabba. I saw some pics online that Ten Hag went straight to the airport to return to Holland. Have you seen those pictures? He hugged like the guy in the high vis suit, who I presume he'd never met before. It's the most human thing I've seen him done.
He's like, sorry, I need to say this. He's like Nicole Kidman after she divorced Tom Cruise. He's jumping around the airport to Holland, all happy about it.
Maybe the guy in the high vis, like, I can show you the world, like Aladdin, and they just flew off.
The funny thing about that is that he was hugging the guy with the vest at the airport, but yet there's another picture that shows him hiding in the car at Carrington. Instead of saying bye to the people at Carrington with hugs, he's hiding from them.
I would say maybe he was scared that they were going to throw tomatoes at him, but based on what happened at West Ham, none of them would hit.
Good
sex
one.
appeal. Sex appeal. We deserve better. I just find it depressing that here we are again. 11 years are going in cycles. I think this is a great point, and it's one we'll get to. That we've got to suck up another rebuild, boys and girls, and that But I don't mind rebuilds because they've got a bit of hope to them, and that's all we have these days. All right, it's V. Oh, he's got a United shirt on this week. Everyone got their wish. Ten Hag's hopes and dreams have finally been vanquished.
It's like he died. Oh my god.
Yeah. And we've got Eddie's football waffle. Finally, Ten Hag put out of his misery. But us fans need to put out of our misery by getting a proper, informed Ineos plan. Very wishful thinking. Look, Steph has turned up. Honestly, like, she's meant to be our best worker, constantly late.
Big upstairs.
How many managers has Rashford had? I don't know how he sleeps at night. He's not fit to wear the United jersey. I don't care if he's from Manchester. Have we got anything else here? Rebuilds are great, but not on swamps. This is. I'm so with you on this. We deserve better. Who is going to want to buy all his signings? What are we going to do with them?
We'll keep them. They were club signings. I'm convinced.
Of course, he's got to keep them. He can't just put Anthony to work in the mega store as much as we'd like to. Never get anything done. He'd just be spinning around, Kylie Minogue.
Yeah.
Beefy Mario. You've got such a hard-on for Yabba. It's unbelievable. I'm a little behind listening to Yabba's eulogy for Eric Ten Hag. Good tactics, really? Do you know Beefy Mario?
I don't know Beefy Mario, but I don't mind. Listen. I like Beefy Mario. At least he's honest. He says what he thinks, and I'm just repeating what Benny McCarthy said about Ten Hag, who's obviously worked with him. He's more qualified than me, being a pro footballer at a higher level, international footballer as well. And he said Ten Hag's tactical knowledge is really, really high. I'm just repeating that, and I agree with him because obviously he's qualified, more qualified than me and you, Beefy Mario, you Nintendo playing football fan.
Well, you are his Beefy Luigi.
Yes,
he's flippant a bit. Just kidding.
I must be Princess the way he's
Princess Peach. Oh my god, great references tonight. Oh my god.
So Mario is not getting stuck in the pipes with the little weight he put on there.
I'm gonna win.
Gonna be stuck trying to get in.
All right, just a few ones on where people found out. What a stereotype! We Deserve Better was in the gym doing squats. That's how you look like that. Matty Bassett was at work. He was smoking in the work van.
Sounds like someone we know.
Sounds like me, Matty.
Yeah. Steph was listening to our PM talking a lot of nonsense on Sky News. Timely interruption by Eric Ten Hag sacking. We've got, look, according to my count, we've got 3.7 million people watching, and we have 17 likes. Okay, we're on the road to 2 billion, and this isn't good enough. And look who's turned up. It's Tyrone, late as always. Unbelievable. Right. Canny, where were you when you found out Eric Ten Hag had gone?
I was actually on a live stream with KG's, the comedian. It was being hosted by Joe Blackman. So I don't know. We were going at it with Ten Hag, Ten Hag outers. It was a whole, the whole shebang. So, and then the news started going in the chat. He's sacked. Oh my God! You should have seen the jubilation from the Ten Hag outers. We were all waiting. So yeah, it caught me live on stream with Joe Blackman.
Dora, what was going on?
Well, I was, I came to my mother's and I helped her with something, and all of a sudden, the notification from, one of a kind, David Ornstein knows everything, and my WhatsApp notifications, popped off as well, and and I called my younger brother, who is a United fan as well, and I said, "Hey, Ten Hag just got sacked 4 minutes ago. And he's like, oh my God, that's so good. Like, he was very happy. I mean, it's like we're celebrating, but I think we are trying to, we are kind of in a, we are trying, if we are in relief that, and we are hopeful that this type of football that we played in the last 2 seasons is going to stop. So don't blame us, guys, okay? But yeah, my brother was very happy. He's like, oh my God, yes, let's go. I'm like, okay, chill. But yeah, he got sacked. And yeah, so
does he watch the channel?
Sorry?
Does he watch the channel? That's a like we're missing out on.
No, he popped in, I think, 2 streams ago to say that you don't say Lakanoch, but you say Lakunoch. That is my brother.
Yeah, right.
He's a little prick, but yeah.
He's young and foolish.
He's 22. He's not that young,
I say Lakanoch perfectly.
Oh, you say it magnificently.
I bet I don't, but yeah, that's all right. I got it's in my heart.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I was there.
Well, look, Tyrone found out about Ten Hag's sacking whilst he was shopping out in Bromley, like a wag, just out shopping. Agile Beast woke up at 6:30 a.m. Because he lives in Arizona and he saw it there. Simon switched the computer on around lunchtime. And hello to Elite Baller. I don't know what those emojis mean, but have fun. And we're up to 20 likes.
Yes, keep going.
And Kieran, a petition to bring Dora the Explorer's brother to the channel.
He's PG-18. Come on, he cannot be on the internet. Look, these younger generations, they say everything. So if you think I am, kind of, extravagant and temperamental like he is, he says it as it is, and he has no filters. So that would be very fun.
Well, I know a man who does have filters, and that's Mr. B. But anyway, Mr. B, where were you? Like, you've been driving around like Mario Kart.
I was driving around. It wasn't quite like Mario Kart. I was actually on my way home from work.
Oh, wow.
I know I had a very, very good day today. I'm not going to lie. I had a good day today. And he called me and I said he's joking. But this is deja vu because we had the same conversation when Jose got sacked. It was the same feeling. He called me. I missed the call. I said, what's he calling me so early for? Called him back. And then he just started laughing and said, yes! And I didn't have to say anything else. I parked up the van. I parked up the van for a bit. And then I drove home very, very happy. So, yeah, it's, as I said, I don't know Ten Hag, innit? He made me miserable for a little while, and he's now got 70 million in his pocket. I have no sympathy for him. I have none. As a manager, I feel you should be able to adapt to your surroundings, and he didn't want to. So he's gone. I said the 2 cups. I mean, that Man City. I tell you, that's one I'm not going to forget because that's not a game that we should be winning. It was beautiful. The feeling that he gave me in that one, I will never, ever forget. But time moves on. I think the players had the respect for him the first season. But we did overachieve to a certain extent. The second season, he blamed on injuries, but I think he started pissing off players with maybe his attitude and certain things. And then come this third season, I think a lot of them... I still think they were playing for him, but I don't think they believed in what he was telling them to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they gave up, to be fair. You can see that in the West Ham game. They just all bent foots. That's not nothing to do with Ten Hag, Second half, yes. But first half, and it's strange that a game where we actually peppered the team was the last game that he played.
That's why I do feel he's a little I don't think he's unlucky over the course of his career, but to get sacked for that game, I think he can feel a little bit unlucky because we should have. I'm not saying score 4 or 5 goals because games change when a goal goes in, but we would have got like 1 or 2. But Yabba, I assume you had Candle in the Wind on and were staring out at the sunset. Where were you?
And he was listening to Chasing Pavements by Adele, while that was going on.
Did you have was it raining and you just had a photo of Erik Ten Hag and you were looking at him? Like, what's going on?
It's fine you haven't got one of those AI pictures of me with that sort of scenario,
Yeah.
I was on my way to work and it came up on the radios, like proper major news. The way they dropped it, it was like the king had died or something. So they announced breaking news, and everyone. So I was at the lights, like, what is this? It's the way they announced it. It was really sort of like, what's going on? What's going on? And they said, Manchester United 10 has been sacked. And I just, and I was driving, I was cruising, just listening to things. I didn't want to listen to all the chat on the radio. I just put on some music, and I was just thinking about it. And I was thinking, wow. And I'm not one to like put the boots in on someone when they're down, we just have to remember this. We support the club. Managers come and go, but we support the club. That's the main thing. And you can't get too tribal about things all the time. But the manager is always the one who has to take the responsibility. And when we look at it, we haven't won a title since 2013. And in that time, we've sacked. It's always been that same cycle. Because some of us were brought up on success. Some of us, like myself, old enough not to be brought up in success. So I understand we're not always going to be winners. I understand that. But I think there's a generation of fans that grew up in Fergie's era and the expectancy is really high. And when we look at it now, 2 years with Mourinho, a few years with Moyes, Van Gaal, Solskjaer, now Ten Hag, and whoever else has been and gone, it's like the expectancy is too high. And if we want to get back to where we so-called belong, we need to do something different, and or at least with the next manager have more patience, which I had with Ten Hag. The reason I had patience with Ten Hag is because I realized, I looked at history, I looked at how I've grown up, witnessing an era where we didn't win titles, and I realized that things go in cycles, and to become a good club again, you have to restructure, rebuild, and make the foundations good. And sacking a manager after 2 years is not always the right way to do it, which is why I felt that we need to persist with something. Otherwise, we're just following the same patterns as we have with the previous 3 or 4 managers we had since Fergie. Now, obviously, we're going to talk about them people being suggested to coming in, but there's a lot of talk about, coming from a farmers league, like the Dutch league, he couldn't handle the Premiership. I've heard that, but Dora said that, couldn't handle the Prem or the demands of the Prem. But we're talking about a guy coming from Portugal in the same scenario, managing Sporting, 39 years old. I'm older than him, I'm like, got 10 years in this guy. And it's like, what's the difference here? Just because he's...
Remember the question.
Where was I? I was in the car.
Yeah, where are we now? We're in Portugal.
Oh my God, typical Ten Haginers.
I'll pause right there. But you know what I mean. You know what
I know. You got a lot to say. We'll give you the time. All right. He found out about Ten Hag sacking while reading Brave New World. That's Aldous Huxley, I think. I did shed a few tears, but I find solace in the fact that Ten Hag gave me a wonderful day at Wembley. Is anything? No one else is. Oh, we got a Pogger from Twitch. Hi, what's up, Diggs? By the way, 7. I hope you're doing well. And I found out. I was at work and I got a message from my dad saying he's gone, and I assumed my dad was referring to a squirrel that's been giving him a lot of issues. And then I found out it was about Ten Hag, and I felt like, have you seen The Godfather? You know where Michael Corleone is in? He's at a wedding, and someone informs him that like he's killed all these people, and he has to sort of be calm and sort of nod. Like I was having to do a presentation when I found out that like Ten Hag had gone. It was bloody awful. I wanted, to have a dance and run around, talk to Mr. B, because I knew Mr. B would just be blaring garage somewhere, dancing in an alley, like Mark Morrison. Stuff like that. I was livid.
Mark Morrison. Oh my God. That's winding back the days.
Got a love bit of Mark Morrison. Absolutely brilliant. Maybe there were rumours today that Ollie was going to come back. Imagine if he brought McFred back to him and they announced it with Return of the Mac. It would be incredible.
Jesus Christ. We'll have
Oh, my
Solo
bad,
back
it
on
was
the
a
channel.
christening. Yeah. Right. I want to show you a slide, but obviously I don't have it ready. So let's start off with you, Kenny. I want you to tell me about like the players, because a lot of these players have seen off a lot of managers. We've seen poor performances, poor professionalism, poor attitudes. Like, what does another new manager mean for these players, do you think?
I think, to be honest, I feel as though, not to just like kick on Eric the whole entire time, but I think being a manager, a lot rests on you. All the blame usually comes to kind of fall on you. You're the person that needs to instill these mindsets, in players. But when you see how McCarthy spoke of Eric Ten Hag and how smart he is and how introspective he is with his tactical, and how you see somebody once said that these players are not that smart for this manager. He's not getting through to them. He's doing his job. He's giving them these instructions, but they're failing to actually implement what they're getting from him. Is it too technical, or is it too, what is it? Because clearly Eric Ten Hag is a great manager. We cannot just sit here and all of a sudden think like Eric Ten Hag is washed and Mr. B is having a blast out there.
Sorry, man, my missus is crazy. Go away, man. Sorry.
That's good. So yeah, but it still comes back to Eric Ten Hag, where you say, like, if you notice these players cannot really get the instructions that you're giving them, are you over complicating these instructions? Are you over teaching them per se? So when you look at that, the blame will kind of shift to him. But Eric Ten Hag is not the person that's supposed to start. He's not going to pass for them. We've seen them do the same errors game in, game out. We've seen them miss open goals now. We finished last season with the minus goal difference. Yeah, it's the blame can be shared between the manager and the players. But since now we're talking about the players, I feel as though there's too many divas in this team. And some of these divas are on 350K. They cannot really be spoken to in a certain way because they're, ambassadors to the club and whatnot. So I think having somebody come in who does not really care about this would mean a great deal for these players. Especially for me, I'm more interested or invested in the youths. I'm looking at the Lenny Yoros. I'm looking at Kobe Mino. We're almost burning out Kobe Mino as it is. I'm looking at Garnacho and these players, especially also Amrabat. Ahmad. Like Amrabat. Ahmad Diallo. This age group of players that we have are the ones that I really, really want us to take care of, because they're the future. They're the ones we have. And I was seeing one can say that the bad influence, these bad apples, I would name the bad apples. I'm talking about Marcus Rashford. I'm talking about also Bruno Fernandes, who didn't even deserve to get this contract he got. None of these players deserved this, but this all still comes back to Eric Ten Hag. And that's why we find ourselves in a situation where Eric Ten Hag is failing to bench Rashford because of pressure from the board, I'm sure. How can you bench a player who just given 300 and something K the week? Why is he doing on the bench? So it's like you dig yourself into a shallow grave there. So for me, I think having an interim that doesn't really care, that wants to prove a point, will mean a lot to these players. We'll have the new manager bounce. But if I was ruled at the moment, I would definitely start playing the youth to see what we got in there.
Okay, good stuff. Dora, you hate a lot of the players. But
hate is a strong word, but okay, continue.
Look, do you think that these players are going to be like. I was thinking today what Diego Dalot is thinking because of that miss. Like, surely he's sort of got to take. He must feel some sense of responsibility for not only missing an open goal, like for losing the game, and then the manager going. Like, do you think that there's any possibility that players such as Bruno, who else isn't performing very well, like Rashford, Martinez? Do you think that this is going to be a sort of maybe a springboard for them to kick on? Like, how is this going to affect the players? Or do we just need to get rid of the lot of them?
I think first of all, they will try to think about themselves first. I think Dalot is more so being, embarrassed about his miss because, he missed an open goal that will be on the internet forever. Everyone will mock him for it. Do I feel like he regrets it because it led to, indirectly or directly, it led to Ten Hag being sacked? I honestly don't think so. Maybe he feels some kind of, like, I don't know how these people feel. I don't know them personally, but I mean, maybe they will feel some type of way. I cannot predict that or speculate, but I will say this, right? I think this is like, every single time, you have, a manager getting sacked, we were in a hole, we played very poorly. I cannot say that, and I truly believe that the players didn't give up on him. Like, for example, the squad under Jose Mourinho gave up on him because they literally protested on the pitch. These guys didn't. They just don't know where to. They simply were outplayed by other teams throughout the seasons, and throughout the games or this season. And it's just. I think there is going to be a bounce, a player bounce, the holiday period, maybe on the road. Maybe they will feel like they need to prove themselves. They will want it more. You will see the likes of Martinez, getting his, act up and, try to rile up the people in the stands once again at Old Trafford. You will see Dalot jumping for every ball. You will see a lot of players, maybe we see finally Joshua Zirkzee run for that ball more, with more will. But yeah, it will be interesting to see. But once again, like, they can run as long as they can. They can all of a sudden learn how to play football or find their form. But I don't believe that will actually happen. I believe that I saw them. Like, I know who they are. I've seen enough of most of them. I believe that most of these players, especially in the starting 11, I think they stay there welcome, in all honesty, and it will take another few years to get rid of them. Hopefully we will see the end of Luke Shaw, the end of Marcus Rashford, the end of Bruno. Like, I don't have patience anymore because I've seen enough. People can say Bruno creates the most creations, but he didn't do, like, last 2 seasons, he's been just rolling around the pitch. He has 1 good game, then 5 bad games. And besides Ole, no one get him out of that route. Maybe if he employ Amorim, maybe he will start playing better because, he's Portuguese and, he's from Sporting, that's his home club, blah, 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 and all that stuff. But it's just, I've seen enough of these players and the way they play. And I just want him to slowly but surely get out of the club because I think they overstayed their welcome and they're not good enough. Because if they were good enough, they would not throw they would not throw stinkers after stinkers every single season, and to the point where we have an insane losses like we had in the last 2 seasons, even more, 7-0, 3-0. After Bobby Charlton died against City at Old Trafford, which was an embarrassment. I still feel it, honestly. 3-0, 3-4-0, whatever it was. You have Bournemouth, you have Palace killing us, you have these lesser teams killing us. Hopefully they will look at themselves, in the mirror and say, okay, is this enough? Like, just get rid. And hopefully we will see some of the players leaving. But yeah, I don't think they will feel, I think they will feel a relief because Ten Hag took a huge brunt of the pressure throughout the season. a lot of people blamed solely him, but they need to take responsibility as well.
Right. Andrew's put this in the comments. Is this true? Amorin is Bruno's cousin. Has anyone heard that?
I don't know.
Second cousin removed.
Second cousin from his mother. I don't know.
I'm sure that would have come out already. To be fair, I think Andrew's on the fucking wind up.
I hope so. I know who sister-in-law is, but like I don't know, Catholic country, Portugal. Like I mean, Yabba, you've got some Irish in you. You know that everyone is related to everyone.
Oh my gosh! So you're saying we are all, because we are a Catholic country as well, right? So you think we are all related to?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a Catholic,
I hear it.
Dora. Like you know.
Okay, like, don't put me in the same box as you.
No one was. You've just tried to put yourself in there.
Yeah,
why are you getting involved?
Well, my bait failed. Sorry, I tried something and it failed. Sorry.
Well, so did Bruno. I quite like this comment.
I knew it was a joke. I knew Andrew's on the wind up. It was a joke. Look, sorry.
I mean, they look kind of. They have similarities.
Brilliant. And look, Elite Baller is saying the last kick of the Ten Hag era was a rubbish cross by Bruno that evaded everyone. How apt. Right. Yabba. I have a little picture for you. Right. Can you prepare yourself for some cutting edge special effects?
What a photo.
I love it. It's like he's just on the set of Father Ted or something. Yeah, but in good teams, coaches hold players accountable. In great teams, players hold players accountable. What does this mean? And how is this like? Why is this important for the players now that Eric has left? In your view?
Yeah, well, look at this. This is a qualified man talking about great teams. He played in a great team, and he's saying in his great team, players hold players accountable. You heard all the stories about new players coming to the club, even Ruben Nistelrooy when he came to the club. It was Roy Keane who was pinging balls into him to see if he's accountable. Say, you're at the new club now. You're not no big shot. This is how we do things around here, and I'm going to ping a ball into you, and let's see what you got, and pulling people up. This is what I'm saying. So you can't walk into a club and get that, no matter what wage you're on or what sort of stature you have, you've got to go into a club and be accountable for what happens. And even with Cristiano Ronaldo, when he was at the club as a young boy, you've seen the man he's become when he's got high standards and training non-stop and really dedicated. I think that stems from being in a great team early on, like Manchester United were. They didn't take any sort of arsey foolishness from him when he was at the club, doing little steppos and everything else. He was told, look, we're going to make you accountable. Not even the manager, before the manager even gets to you, we're going to say to you, that ain't acceptable around here. And that's what it takes. So you need, within a great club, with great players and a great club, you're going to have that kind of atmosphere and culture where the players will pull you up to make sure we're trying to win here. This means everything to us. If you're coming into our group, our clique, you have to be with the program, So that's what it means about being a great team. When you look at great teams, when the chips are down, you're going to pull each other up, because sometimes the manager's on the bench. He can't go out and do everything for you. You need leaders on the pitch. This is why great teams always make great comebacks and win things and get over the line. You talk about Arsenal now. Everyone calls them a bottle job because maybe they don't have those characteristics of players making themselves accountable like that. You need that. You need experience. You need that kind of culture within the club to make yourself great and get over the line when the chips are down. You said something earlier, Canny. It wasn't. He didn't say chips are down. He said something about chips. It wasn't. He said it wrong though. I can't remember what he said.
You're being held accountable, Canny.
Yeah, I'm making you accountable now, Canny. It's not what you said. It's when the chips are down. But it's true. So we understand where he's coming from with Roy Keane. And once again, I adhere to everyone to take quotes from qualified people who understand the game better than we do. Say, okay, that makes sense. I think with Roy Keane, we can all agree that he's not biased, not so much biased. He just speaks it as it happened. And he is a leader. He's been in a professional club, won things, maybe not the best team on paper, but they won things because of what the harmony, the characteristics, the discipline, and the players pulling each other up and stringing each other up to make sure they get the results before it even gets to the manager. So that is a great quote from our guy there. He looks like a guy I met in the park today, walking his dog. And hopefully I'd like to meet Roy Keane walking his dog one day. We can go for dog walks and talk about the past, you know?
Good. Well, it's always brilliant to hear about your desires to meet men in the parks. Walking dogs.
Not Hampton.
You mean Hampstead
Hampton
Heath?
Hill or Hampton? Not those sort of parts, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but to add to what Yaba said as well, plenty of times we've seen Rashford play with his head down for several games where we could see clearly this young man is not in the game. Where are the leaders then? You know, we needed proper leaders to lift him up, you know, like to get him out of that sunken place he was. And you know, all those performances are cumulative to what has led to the sacking of Eric as well. And how
I'm sorry, you're saying who are they? These things have to come from yourself as well, though, you know.
No, but I know you as a player, you need to first of all be motivated yourself. But your teammates should, if you are having a bad run of form, right, and then obviously your confidence is low. We saw Rashford looking like he doesn't even want to be in the game. You know, where was other players there, leaders, and telling him, yeah, get into this game.
Maybe, I mean, he doesn't strike me as Maguire strikes me as a mentally strong person. Rashford doesn't strike me as somebody who's mentally strong. Maybe, you know, when you know somebody, you've been working with somebody for a certain amount of time, you know what characteristics they have. Maybe he's a pussy. Maybe he just can't take. No, just like, because don't forget, he's come through. He's always been the guy that everybody's looked up to, haven't they? You know, like Rashford, he's come through the. No, I'm saying as younger players, he's the one who came. He's come through the reserves. He's become an England international. He's now the top earner at the club. You know, just certain things that, not say impress, but he's the. Yeah, I would say that he would be the one that he was a youth player.
I mean, he's the prototype of what we like, United. You know, youth player coming in through the ranks, going to, you know, make things happen. The way he came in that Arsenal game, he's the actual, like, you know, storyline for United. You know, so I understand what you mean, that he has all this on his shoulders, right? This weight, and he's Mancunian himself, so he has this feeling. But for me, that has always been the problem with Rashford. It also felt as though that he felt some level of entitlement, as if he was working in his father's, you know, company. You know, we have those people that own the company, and then the way he works, his work ethic is useless, you know, and that's how it's been with him. You know, there's always, even when there was him, Lingard, and there was that clique thing, like we own this. We are the ones that own this. And you could see them foreign players that came from maybe South America, Portugal. They were in a different mindset. They were more like all the time on this different little pocket of just, we can do whatever we want. I don't think the manager has it in him to even discipline us, you know. More so, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. It's like they've been there longer than him, so he can't come and tell them. I get that. I get that.
And that affected even his performance as a player himself, because he felt he stagnated his growth as a player, because he could get away from all those little things, and he could be, you know, kind of like protected by this United shield. He's the golden boy, and he did marvelous work off the pitch. He got his MBE. I mean, that all clouded Rashford, and from that, I'm not trying to mix his good work outside the field and, you know, trying to fix them. That's good work he did, but I still need a player who's going to score goals. I still need you to, you know, to perform at 110 performance once you're wearing the United jersey. And I didn't see that from Rashford for plenty of times. And I didn't see that from the manager himself to actually have it in him to even save Rashford from Rashford, not play Rashford, let him come back. But he wanted to play him into form. This is where in a team, you think Roy King couldn't Roy King have stood up to Alex and said, why are you continuing to play this guy if the way Rashford was playing out of form for many of games?
I get that, but you look at, I understand sort of the wanting to drop him, but I also understand the playing the players into form. The fact that he had so much goals last season, which virtually saved Ten Hag's season, you could understand why he kind of was hoping that he would have been doing it again. I mean, we've seen Rashford before that. We knew it was a freak season more than something that happened regularly. But I was wondering if maybe he kind of went that way more with Rashford over everybody else, because you can blatantly see that he's got that for Rashford. Now he's now playing Rashford on the side that he didn't really see him playing at. Is that because he knew he was leaving, or he expected? Is it because he's just said, "Oh, F it, I'm not going to be pandering to Rashford, wanting to be playing on the left"? Was it something that he realized? I mean, I know we're focusing on Rashford. It's not just Rashford that we're talking about, but it's just the fact that he didn't change much until sort of nowish. Martinez at left back, he wouldn't have contemplated doing Martinez at left back. Was these moves out of desperation now?
The thing is, we're talking about Rashford, and the whole thing is about leadership, and the great quote here from Roy Keane. And so he said, "Good teams, coaches hold players accountable." So in a good team, we've got good players, no doubt about that. Okay, they're good players. Did the coach make them accountable? Had Ten Hag? Can you remember any time when Ten Hag's pulled up players, disciplined players, made them accountable for their behaviour? Yeah, it's happened. Many times he's pulled them up. So he's trying to make them a good team by bringing that structure to a team that's in demise. We're a long way off 2013 and that culture. Things have changed a lot. We've had so many players come in who have been so-called leaders. We had Paul Pogba, who was the leader of the dressing room, probably coming in with his own music and that kind of thing. And we had Lingard, and Rashford. These are the guys. Imagine, let's see how much the culture's changed. You got to be winners. You have to be hungry. You have to be really hungry and scrap and pull yourselves out of situations on the pitch. It's really important like that. So great teams, good teams, okay. Manager would try to make the players accountable, which Ten Hag tried to do, but he was doing that. This is the whole point. My point with Ten Hag, he was doing that in a culture which was stinking out the place. Because you guys have been talking about Rashford. He doesn't know anything about the great era of winners Roy Keane was part of. He doesn't know anything. He's supposed to be one of our senior players and leaders right now, and he hasn't got the characteristics, as you said. So how do you expect him to know what it's like to string people up? He probably, I can't be bothered going home and sit at my PlayStation or chat to my missus or go to a bar in Dublin or wherever he went that time. He doesn't have that responsibility.
Right. We all know about General Matic and all this stuff, and I completely agree with you that a dressing room, in my experience, should run itself. Like the players in that dressing room decide the culture, they decide the standards, and this is what Roy Keane is getting at. He's talking about how Leopards don't change their spots, that you can't trust these players because they throw people under the bus for fun. It's their habitual bus throwers. But Ten Hag has a huge part to play in this because he spent, 600 million? Yeah. And he didn't get in characters that are able to change the dressing room. Martinez, I think probably is someone who might have standards and stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
Anthony, I mean, God knows. Xerxes, wet. Hoyland, wet. Malacia, wet. Anana, mental. Like, who else is there? Mason Mount.
I disagree.
What a warrior. He's an absolute warrior, Mason Mount. Out for a month with a cut on his head. I completely agree with you. It's like Hercules.
I disagree. Delete, acting, leadership skills.
Yes.
Martinez, he's a dog. Good for the dressing room. You said Haaland. You said he's so passionate he starts to cry when he scores. That's what you said.
I said he's wet.
Yeah, I don't think he's wet, but you can see he's got some characteristics about him. He's got a bit of something about him. You can see that he wants to win. He wants to give 110%.
Old Trafford floods when he scores. There's so much tears that you're in danger of drowning, let alone the roof.
So I think it's really important. Like Fergie, when he used to sign somebody, he used to say, what is their characteristics? What are they really like as a person? Because he wants characters. So it's like we're not playing computer games here. We just buy players with the best skills and best speed or whatever. We're talking about characteristics that make a winning great team. And we have to look at that when we're signing players or bringing players into our culture. It's very, very important.
Yeah.
And what you'll find as well, like you said earlier, anyone coming in, any prospective player coming into the club, he might look around or might hear whispers from other players to say, nah, man, it's slack around here. He doesn't like it, So if there's a slack player coming on or someone who wants to be professional, like Bellingham, for example, didn't like the culture, didn't like what he saw, so he went somewhere else where things were running for him. Right now, that's the most important thing that needs to change. Before we change any manager or anything like that, the most important transformation that we need to make as a club is to build on the foundations and change that. Arteta did it really well at Arsenal. He changed the culture. They used to go out, the road. It's been suppressed now, but the stories about these stupid balloons people blow at parties, or what do you call it? The balloons.
Nitrous oxide.
Laughing gas.
That was the culture. That was the culture. And Arteta said, enough of that. We're not having that foolishness around here. And now when you look at it, you got leader the other day, who captained their side? A young boy from Greenford called Saka, why? Because he shows that professionalism and he can be relied on and trusted. So we
doesn't know where to get balloons from, obviously, no?
Well, I honestly think, that Ten Hag was using laughing gas because he's between the end of the game and the post-match interviews, he would consume something. I'm not even joking. He was consuming something, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it was, a laughing gas. Who knows?
Right, I've got a question. I've been doing technical support, so I missed the comments for a bit. And we're just getting stuff like this. Andrea Core, Damon the Antichrist, Nelson Mandela, Ryan Giggs.
What?
I leave when nonsense starts coming up that I just leave them to it because I know they're all having their conversations in there. That's fine. We're a happy house. That's fine. There's no problem, man. They can talk in the garden. We'll talk in the front room.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's just I don't want to miss out on a joke. No, you don't know who that is, right? Don't talk about that man, right? He's a very naughty doctor. He's a serial killer.
There's some mixes going on here, but yeah, we'll leave them to it. Leave them to it.
All right. So look. We'll probably go. Is everyone all right to go for about another 10 or 15 minutes?
Yeah, I'm ready to chat, man. It's no headache.
So this is big news. You guys have been waiting for this for ages. I'm surprised we didn't get a hotline phone call to say we need to go live now, no matter where
you know what. Listen, you know what? So I did contemplate it, and when I came home, I thought, you know what? It makes no difference. He's gone. It's not going to make me any happier speaking about it then. It just would have been a smoky screen. So it wouldn't have made no sense.
Can I ask Kenny a question?
Go on.
Kenny, yeah, I can see you love the club, and really nice to meet you. Respect, bro. Lovely to meet you and everything. What do we need to do as a club? You've seen what's happened over the years. What do we need to do as a club to get back on top? Simple. Just give us a strategy. If you're part of the board, what would you be saying to them to get back on top now?
For me, I would say, considering that we're out of money, we can't even charter a plane anymore. I would say the best approach for United right now is to concentrate on the youth. We've got a good youth setup that's coming up. I'm so amazed with the amount of young players that we have at our club that just needs to be ushered in. If you're good enough, you're old enough is the saying that used to go a long time ago, right? We don't see that anymore. Look at how Barcelona are playing. All those kids are young. But if we can give these kids, they're the ones that are hungry. These guys that are already been at the top, they've already been earning these 300,000, this what? We need to let go of that. We just need to have faith in one season to give these kids a chance. We set up a team that has Ahmad, the Zexis, the Howland. These are the young ones. We just let them go. Garnacho on the left. That's our first lineup. We have Kobe Mino. We have already Collier. If we're going to go there, maybe we have one adult there who's a bit of experienced in the midfield to just control things. But we come back. We've got De Ligt is fairly young. Martinez is young. Yoro is young. We just have to go with these kids that we can Amas on the left. If we can buy back that kid, Alvaro Fernandez, that was the biggest mistake we ever did when we were suffering with left backs. How do we sell that? And that still falls on Eric Ten Hag's watch. So for me, the good approach that we can have to get back to get back to where we were, at least in the next 2 seasons, would be to just give chance to these kids that we already have. Let them have a run for it. Even if we finish 8th, they would have gotten used to playing. And then come the season after this one, they're already kind of like getting used to the pressure and their positions and the tactics that the club wants them to play. Because
question.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm going to forget. Just a point that you made just then about play. Oh, you know me. I'm an earhead. Sorry, yeah. Cammy. But you were saying about the players. Oh fuck. Yeah, playing the young players. No, it's all right. And finishing 8th. If we had played the young players for that one season and finished, because we're in 4th and we're already losing our mind.
Yeah.
If we finish, if we go to 16th, but we're still playing the kids, is that something that you would have been willing to accept? Because 16th isn't too far from the relegation zone. So as much as you're saying play the kids, they would have needed to be doing what Chelsea are doing this season, winning games.
Yeah, but Chelsea didn't really start well. Remember, we were Mad Brothers not so long ago. Chelsea didn't start very well. Chelsea bought, I don't know, we were making fun of them with the memes of they don't have space in the gym. So they had to find a way to tweak they had to find their way to tweak what's going to work for them, which is the same thing we were complaining about Eric Ten Hag. His failure to affect in-game tactics, to just also change to he was so stuck on his words that he couldn't even change a formation based on the players that he had because he was suffering from injuries. He still wanted to play, even though it was not helpful to him, because we had so many injuries. All he needed was to probably maybe change the formation so that the players that are available now could flourish better. He couldn't even do that. But you've seen Chelsea move our players. You've got Enzo come in. He failed. He got kicked out. They brought this one until it worked for them. And they gave a responsibility to a player they knew who we didn't expect would blossom like Cole Palmer the way he did. But the moment they saw he was a bowler, they gave him the respect, the responsibility. Lead us.
Sorry, Danny. Sorry. I think you're using the wrong example here. Certainly bringing in Cole Palmer, who was a almost £50 million player. Chelsea have a model of basically churn, where they're getting loads of players in. I think that what Mr. B is referring more to is the Arsenal model, where a young team have grown together from like getting back-to-back 8 finishes. The coach and the team have grown together and are now like in a position to challenge or possibly win a league, which is much more, I think, relevant to us than what is going on at Chelsea.
Yeah, that's where I was alluded to at the beginning, where I said like I'd rather we finish 8th and have these young players playing. That was like on the Arsenal part. If we on the long run, so we have the season where we don't finish at a reasonable place in the league, but progression is there with the kids. We've given them game time, and then come the next season we continue. But I was just giving that example with Chelsea, where Chelsea and us were in the same position. We had new players coming in, but Chelsea were able to tweak it. Chelsea were able to tweak the tactics, tweak their formation, try something new, which we lacked in Ten Hag, and hence he's fired today. So going back to the Yaba question, the question Yaba gave me, what can we do as a team moving forward, is now the Arsenal model, where I'm saying we play kids. We already have a very talented crop of young players. Look at Lenny Yoro. Madrid were crying for him. They're lying. They wanted to just get him for free. They don't. He's worth every penny we got him, that kid, with the amount of ceiling that he can, achieve.
Yeah, but he's never played for us.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he played for us, but we know the potential we got in the player. We know what we have. That's a gem that we have there, And
all right, Candy, this is a really good point, right? We have Lenny Yoro, Kobe, and Garnacho. Should the long-term plan be to get players that complement these guys? Like that they should be the future of the club. So, for example, with Lenny Yoro, he's going to get fit. He's going to come back. Should we pick? Well, yeah, but what if someone like Johnny Evans is the perfect guy with his experience, with his mentality to get him through? Should we be focusing on building a team around these guys, or should we be focusing on a system and expecting them to improve off the pitch and grow naturally?
A system is dependent on the type of players that we have, right?
No, like a system is where it doesn't really matter what players you have. It's plug and play.
But if you have a player like Lukaku, we put him in a system that doesn't fit him, he's not going to flourish, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's why you don't recruit players. So this is almost what I'm getting to, is should the system be based around these young players, or should these young players be asked to fit into the system?
I think the players, the age that we have with these young players, they can adapt. They are young, so they can be coached into a system where they even flourish. What we cannot afford to do is continuously, if we are being honest and we want to see change, good change with this club, is to isolate these kids and let them learn the system that the club wants. Have 2, 3, 4 experienced players that can also play in that system, and then let go of the rest of the deadwood. I'm sorry to say, if we're going to have to lose Rashford because of his mental weakness or mental whatever or football disabilities, we just have to do that. Because look, Arsenal lost Aubameyang. They had to. They swallowed the pill. They lost Ozil. During the time those players were leaving, we thought Arteta was mad. How do you do that? But you see what he's developed, even though he still hasn't won anything. But the development of the squad, we can see.
Winning nothing. They're going to keep developing, and he's going to keep on winning nothing.
Well, he won an FA Cup, but with the previous team. I'd just like to bring Dora in at the moment because she hasn't spoken for a bit. That normally means fireworks are coming. Dora, what do you feel about what Kenny is saying? Are you in agreement, or have a chat with each other?
Yeah, look, your original question is what needs to be changed, right? I mean, first of all, you need to, fire a janitor, another lunch lady, start from the bottom to the top. No, just kidding. No, when it comes to the team, this is modern football, right? You need to have some kind of strategy. You need to have some kind of formation. You need to have a system. Look, people are, shitting on, older managers saying that, they didn't have anything, They had system. I mean, everyone is copying Johan Cruyff. Every single Dutch manager, German manager is copying this guy. This total football that he was a pioneer of, and it's like he had a system, right? He was a genius. Even Sir Alex Ferguson. He maybe wasn't a tactical, insane genius, but he had a system that we played in. And after some time, as the football, changed, he changed it as well. And, you have, now Jose Mourinho, who is, he is a defensive player. He parks the bus. When he came to Chelsea, they had the best attack in the world. They were the best attacking, team in the world. They were unstoppable in those 2 seasons while he was there. And I think that what we need to do what we need to do as a team, first of all, I think that these players need to be evaluated, I would say. I said the same thing when Ole got sacked and maybe employed Erik Ten Hag. I hope that he's going to evaluate the squad, evaluate the players, and see who is going to flourish in his formation, in his system, and who is not. And unfortunately, even though we signed, he signed a lot of players, he signed a lot of players, there are still some key parts of the team or of the first 11 that don't work. Like, he absolutely disregarded, like, even after, in the middle of the second season, when we are having an insane crisis, he's saying that he cannot replicate what he did at Ajax. Like, why are you here? And I don't want that to happen to one of the, to our future manager. I want him to sit at the, in that Manchester United office or wherever, and start tinkering with his assistant coaches and coaches, and to see who is going to be, who is going to have a key role or a supporting role in that system. Because we cannot have 11 insane players. Like, City may have, one of the best, players, in each positions, but even them, like, I don't think that Bernardo Silva is necessarily going to play the same in another club. I'm not underestimating him. I think he's an insane player, but you cannot, say, oh my God, in this team, he's going to do amazingly well. I mean, look at Jordan Henderson under Klopp. Like, that guy, everyone shat on him, but he had his role. He had a supporting role to his three in the, he was a bridge between the defense and the attack, and he worked well in that Klopp team. So we need to reevaluate the players. We need to employ, I think new coaches need to be established, because what I noticed in the last few seasons as well, that the young players, after, bursting onto the scene, they don't transition very well. I'm already seeing huge holes in the game of Alejandro Garnacho. You can love him all you want. He obviously has flaws. And they are the same flaws that he had when he burst into the scene last season or so, right? You have Mainu, who, in my opinion, he's an insane talent, blah, blah, blah. But he also has some holes in the game that he needs, like his fitness and his physicality is lacking currently. And he needs to improve his passing. He needs to work on that. We need coaches that are going to transition these players from the youth to the senior football, because I've seen so many holes in that. And when we got that, we are going to have Kobe Mainu in the middle of the pitch. We will have Garnacho, a great attacking player, and we will have Lenny Yoro, who is still an unfinished article. We need to employ someone who is going to get the best of them. And when we do that, we are going to employ more and more, maybe we can, employ some of the, bring in some of the more experienced players. They don't have to necessarily be world class. Like, Darren Fletcher wasn't world class. Michael Carrick, in my opinion, wasn't world class, but he was so well in that midfield. He wasn't world class. What are we talking about? He was he was a great player, but he was never world class. I don't care whoever says. Antonio Valencia worked on that right wing. Like, Nani worked. He wasn't world class. He had the potential, but he never got to it. So you have so many players in the United's history that had supporting roles that were so. Jason Park, like, who are we? Like, what are we talking about? And when we established that, and these coaches and players and everyone else in the team and manager, sits down, when they sit down and think around this team and actually, think about it, and compare it to the Premier League and how Premier League is now today, we are going to be great. But we need to wait. I mean, we cannot solve it in one night. We cannot. This is a first step. We got rid of Ten Hag. We will probably get rid of some of the players. Anthony is already on the out. Apparently, Maguire is going to get sold as well. You have so many players on chopping block. Hopefully, we will see players who are the problem. Hopefully, Luke Shaw leaves as well. I'll be saying that until my last breath.
All right, Dora,
he needs to go. And yeah, that's it. I will shut up.
No. It's not a case of shouting you up. It's that, first of all, I want to shout out Lone Star Londoner. I don't think we've seen you before, Lone Star. Normally, we're quite interactive with the comments, but it's big news today. But just enjoy the sex appeal of everyone here. That's what this channel is built on. Now, what Dora was saying, Yabba, was about like, we've got all these great young players, let's kind of develop them and so on. Earlier on, you were talking about like Roy Keane and things like that, and the effect on the dressing room, about how he banged balls to Rude and said like Yorkie used to be able to control them. And he sort of like, he kept, maintained, and possibly even raised the standards. With the young players that we have, what is, if it is Amorim, for example, coming in, what steps would you take from your personal experience, and you as well, Mr. B, as a coach, what steps would you take to kind of give these players the best platform on and off the pitch in order to sort of hit their ceiling, hit their potential?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say this is a really good conversation, but when we look at I asked the question, what's it going to take to be a good big club again? Now we need to have some sort of formula and have some sort of steps to say this is what the points do we need to tick these boxes to make sure we're successful in the future. So if we talk about young players, yeah, we will always want to see young players come through the side, but they need to come through coached really well, and not just coached about football, but coached about being a man and becoming a professional player. There's a really great series going on now with Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes. Don't know if anyone's been watching that. It's really interesting, getting an insight into their experiences being youth players coming through the ranks and playing for Man United at one of the best eras ever, you know. And Nicky Butt, for example, was saying the other day, Eric Harrison, who was their youth coach, who they all talk highly about. He wasn't very good at tactics, but he was a good manager. He was tough, and he would give, in hindsight, they look back and say, wow, he really made me grow up as a player. And they were really hungry. So whatever you need to do, you have to have the formula to make these young players hungry and desperate to get into the team. But when they do get into the team, from being, like I'm saying, about being big fish in the reserves and the youth setup, when they do get into the team, so you can't lose them there. We've seen situations with Greenwood, Sancho, with players, Ravel Morrison, for example, even though that was under Fergie's time, that players can lose themselves. Great potential, but you can lose yourself. So you need to manage these players. And whether you call it the Greenwood rule or whatever, you need to show them, this is an example how it can all go wrong. Ravel Morrison can go wrong. This is how you become a man and get into the team and play and be a professional. Nicky Butt was saying on his debut, he was in the reserves, he got a call up to come into the first team. And he's trying to, not the first, it's a reserve team game, I think. And he's trying to do things. He was trying too much. He was trying to do things which were out of his skill set, spraying balls and everything. He should have stuck to what he knows. And he got told off for it. And that's the kind of thing we need to do. We need to sort of tell people off and explain to them what it takes to be a professional by having professional people around you to tell you to do that. For example, another example, which is really good, because we've got so many examples, we've been great at one point. Paul Pogba, great talent. We saw him in the youth. We thought, oh, God, this is amazing talent. We on the outside, we were not qualified. We don't understand that. We just think he's going to walk into the team, a bit like I thought Angel Gomez would walk into the team. But there was something wrong, and Ferguson wouldn't play him and said, no, we need to draw him back and not just play him because he's talented. Let's hold him back because he's not quite ready to be a professional. And then we had to let him go. And he had to learn that at Juve, which was a professional run club. And he still came back not a professional player, according to a lot of people. So if you talk about young people and how you get them into the first team and how you make yourself successful by bringing churning young people inside, first of all, you have to have a senior squad that is successful and has the characteristics that they look up to and respect, so you don't lose them. And then secondly, you need to have a good coaching staff like Eric Harrison, who teach them to go from boys to men and keep them hungry. And when they do get into the first team, like we do with Kobe Mainoo now, he seems to be quite grounded. He's not going to lose himself and think he's made it already. That's very, very important.
All right, good stuff. I've just had a quick check on Twitter. It looks like Amorin is moving more and more all the right. Yes, Yabba.
Well, look, here's the thing. We talk about systems. What's Amorim done? What makes him a good qualified for the coaching role? Because
he improves players.
He improves players. There's 3 teams in Portugal, and it just so happens that Sporting have won you know, overtaking Benfica and Porto at the moment.
Because of Amorim.
Yeah, because of system. It's a
That
system
he's employed.
So I think he needs to be more qualified than just having a system to come in. If you bring that system to Man United, you can see in the space of a week or two.
Oh, I'm gonna love when he comes.
I'm just putting a question out there, bit of food for thought. If you bring this guy's qualified because he's got a good system, you bring him into the Premiership in the space of 2 weeks, someone will master your system and overcome that. So what else have you got? I've just been talking about being a good coach. He's 39 years old, Mr. B. You're old enough to be his father if you were throwing wood around when you were 11 years old. You know? If he was a lumberjack at that age, who knows? We don't know. There's rumors. There's enough rumors anyway. But like I say,
there's no rumors.
Well, like I say, we want someone who's qualified. Don't get the next hot thing in Europe like we did with Ten Hag. Ten Hag got to the semi-final with Ajax. Oh yeah, he's the next big thing. Amorin, Amorin, whatever his name is. He's won things. But yeah, good. He's got a good system. He plays 3 at the back. Wing backs push up high. They plays a box midfield and 1 striker. That works out there. That works for them. But I can tell you what his system is now. That's exactly what he does. Have we got the players?
Do we have the players?
Saying earlier,
do we have those players?
Who plays in the box midfield? What happens to the wide men?
We'll go into that on Thursday. Bath time's gonna be. We'll have an Amorim special on Thursday.
All right. Well, anyway, you know. So sorry.
No pressure, Bath time.
You can rebuttal.
Yeah. Just
you can rebuttal that, man. Rebuttal that.
Well, hang on. First of all, I want to rebuttal Mr. B, who is railroading me into watching the Sporting Lisbon game, so I can tell him what they do. Yeah, you know I'm going to do that. I can't just rely on sex appeal. Now, Yabba, you have stunned me here because, Amorim was, alongside Xabi Alonso, Amorim is pretty much the first choice of every club in Europe. We saw City appoint Sporting's director recently, which we all thought was a kind of a very, very high market signal that Amorim was going to replace Pep. I'm absolutely stunned that you're not excited about this. I'm gonna.
He's mad.
No, he's not. He's not.
He is.
Oh, do you mean he's mad as in terms of he's emotionally upset?
Yeah, because Ten Hag's gone.
Come true, Canny. Come true. Let me hear what you have to say.
No, hang on.
He's going to back me. He's going to back me.
But
stop being so needy.
I'll not take. Let me just
come on, Canny.
I think what Yaba is saying, and I'm leaning towards him because the question is, are we getting a person that can adapt? What does he have? Yaba is asking the questions. What if he's just a system person? It's very easy to counter the system. But what else? What other traits does he have that can actually? What does he have in his bag that he can move out? That we can see him employ if the chips are down? That's what Yaba is asking, because we've been here complaining about Eric Ten Hag being a one-trick pony, and he got figured out, and he can't even change anything after halftime. So Yaba is asking for us not to fall in the same trick. What else does he have rather than this system that we're talking about?
All right, now, Kenny, I know that you had your heart set on Gareth Southgate, but I've got some. All right, it's all right. If you want Southgate in, no problems. I've got some fun facts.
I have somebody that will shock you. Actually,
shock me, Kenny.
I like. I'm hoping to get somebody that's not even mentioned. I'm hoping to get the former Borussia Dortmund, Edin Terzic. That's what I was hoping we could get.
We have spoken to him apparently, but I don't like foreign football, especially German football. It's a glorified training session of transitions. I'm not a fan.
And he's Croatian as well.
Is he? Yeah. Oh, is he that guy that I said? Is he like 31?
Yes.
Yes, he's 41. He just turned 41. That's the one I'm hoping to get. He's a good fit. You know, he can actually he can be a good fit for Manchester United. Actually, the way.
All right, just before we get into this, I've got to do some shout outs to everyone. First of all, it's Suze82 It's very good to see you again, Suze. We've got Rich from Rich Sports. If you don't know Rich Sports, go and subscribe. You might even find the odd appearance from G Wolf and Dora on that channel. We loan her out.
Oh my God.
We've got Tubbsy in the house.
Yes, Darren Tubbs.
Yeah. Look, we've got 450,000 people watching and only 28 likes. That is really bad. But these are some things I found. Look, these are some things I found out about Amorim. He's been to Carrington before. He did as part of his sort of coaching degree, he did some stuff under Jose. I've checked, and he is fluent in English. I've seen him give an interview. It is at the same level but above Ten Hag, which I think is important. Central midfielder, played for Portugal in 2014, which is absolutely amazing. He's played against like Pogba and Eriksen, like in a football match. But my big concern is he is 39 years old. And Dora, do you remember Andre Villa-Boas?
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
Very vividly. Yeah.
Right, Mr.
Spurs,
B.
Chelsea, Porto. Yeah. Zenit St. Petersburg. No.
And also, I think, am I right in saying that he won the Dakar 24 rally or something?
Yes. Yeah. He
I
went
think
on
so,
to be
yeah.
a rally driver. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the. Do you remember the Christmas where we got hammered with Tate and that came up? But Mr. B, Yabba is obviously reactionary. He's hurting. He's got the Home and the Way theme tune on. I have to say though, I think that Yabba is right. Is that we can't just say this guy is the Messiah. He's going to fix everything. Because all you lot said the same thing about Erik Ten Hag. Like,
yep.
You have to start when you come into any new relationship. You've got a level of joy and a level of expectation. It's only after a while, you know, it might not be quite what you were looking for. It might not be the full, you know. But
how do you know that meme?
Get lost.
You shouldn't know that.
Oh, get lost well time.
You've been going to places you shouldn't be on the internet.
Listen, there's a lot of places I shouldn't be going to on the internet that just randomly pop up now. I don't know where these links are coming from.
Table tennis players in Benidorm, I suspect.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah, Yabba. Yeah. So sorry, yeah, so I'm more his age doesn't bother me. The fact that he improves players is the one that appeals to me the most. I mean, all right, Sporting have always been a club that have sold players, but the value that these players are going for, and they're not system players like Ajax players.
Yeah.
They're players who can play anywhere, which means that I'm hoping he's able to adapt. And he'll have his framework of what he wants, but in between that, the players have the opportunity to play with their own personalities. That's what I'm hoping to see. Whether or not that comes, I said we were excited. I admit, Ten Hag, I feel was the right person. I don't think there was anybody, I don't know much people, if any, who was disappointed with Ten Hag. At least with Amorin now, there seems to be a split, especially in Omondi's brain, in regards to what he wants and what he's feeling. But the fact that nobody's 100%, you know, it's good. It's good. He'll have his opportunity to either prove people right or prove people wrong. I just hope that he's one of. I hope that his methods come along quickly, and if he is going to go 3-5-2, just go in there and go 3-5-2, man. Let us Let us go let us go again to see something different. There's no point in him. Listen, there's no point in him playing 3-5-2, 3-4-3, and he comes in and plays 4-4-2 because he's scared to. If that's the formation that he plays, get them playing the formation as early as possible.
I couldn't disagree more. Right? I'll tell you why. First of all, Ten Hag's biggest problem, like I'll give it to you in a cascade, was that he didn't completely understand the Premier League. Okay? Then he became too stubborn because he wanted to see his ideals and his philosophy win out over the Premier League. For me, and feel free anyone to jump in on this point, Amorim has a system that he plays, a 3-4-3 or whatever. As the Manchester United manager, he's got to be able to look at the squad of players he's got, find a solution, and be able to coach them to do that. We're not just signing managers that can only play one way. Like Pep Guardiola has changed his system countless times since he's been in the Premier League because he adapts to his squad and what is going on in the league. If Amorim comes in and he's like, I play like Mike Bassett, we're going to play 4-4-2. He's dead weight. He's just another foreign coach like Frank de Boer, like Ten Hag, like Dr. Venglis at bloody Aston Villa many years ago. Like, he's got to be able. Joseph Venglis, who's a real doctor.
The first foreign coach in the Prem.
I think Wenger was there before him, surely.
No, he was there before.
Was it? All right. But my point is, I completely disagree with Mr. B because I don't think that this guy should come in and say, this is what I do. I want him to come in, look at the players and work out the best way of getting them as a group to go out and win football matches and possibly have a long-term plan to move to something else. But if you come in playing 3-5-2, we've got two strikers per the football club. We can't play 3-5-2 because they're not fit half the time.
It's not. And to add to that as well, it's not. I mean, I think it's only Conte with Chelsea who's won the title with playing three at the back or.
Yeah, well, we ain't nothing. We played four at the back for the last how much years, and we ain't won shit.
Yeah, I know, but in the years of the Premiership, that was 32 years
Yeah,
now.
it was Conte.
So what you're saying that he's going to come in wanting to play free, and he's going to have to change it?
Well, he's known to play. He's known to play free. That's his formation. This is his identity. This is what's made him so successful. And when you look at it, it's quite easy. He plays three at the back, plays two wing backs that push up high. He's got a box midfield and one striker.
And looking at the type of players that we have, I think they could even fit for that because I didn't know why Eric didn't change it to the three at the back and have Dalot and Mazarawi.
His brain probably doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
To be fair,
oh my
that
God.
stubborn stage. What's
because
that?
when you look at the profile of players that we have so many left centre backs right now. We can afford to play three centre backs and still have some at on the bench, and then have the two wing backs go push up, and then we can have just one.
Not having this.
Roll on.
I'm not having this.
Roll on Thursday, bath time. That's the perfect setup. We've set it up perfectly. You're coming back on Thursday, are you, man? Canny?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as I'm.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
You can always come back.
Absolutely.
Look, right. First of all, first things first. For once, I've got support from the comments. This very, very rarely happens. Okay. I won't show them all, but shout out to JR and everyone else that's here. Look at that, Andrew. Honestly, bring back Dora. Dora is part.
I'm
of our
here.
family.
Yes, I'm here.
She is the draw. You say you're disappointing 1-1 away at Stoke in November.
True.
I don't think that is right. We're doing 1 hour and 40 minutes. I think that this is enough to sort of. Dora, our channel is built on sex appeal. Please don't do that. Show Yabba what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that we're going to call it a night here. However, first of all, I'd like to say thank you so much to Canny of Overhead Kick TV, who has come in to an absolute crucible tonight and has really performed extremely well. So I think I speak for everyone here where we're really pleased with your debut, Canny. You've done yourself proud. Just don't be late next time. We don't like that.
See, and then in the private chat, you can just say, bath time, fuck off.
Yeah.
I already do that.
Canny, can I, where are you from? Your accent.
I'm Zambian. I'm from Southern Africa.
Oh, right, Zambia. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous sportsman to come out of Zambia?
I think I mentioned Kalusha Bwalia. He played with Romario at PSV. Then later on went to Mexico. But he's the only still now Southern African footballer of the year in 1988. He beat Germany at the Olympics. Crazy. That was not Germany, but Italy. That was a really, really strong Italian team. We beat them 4-0. He orchestrated that. You should look him up next time. If we're having a talk about players, is the one we need to look at. Amazing free kick taker, natural left footer. You should look him up. Kalusha Bwalia.
Frankie Fredericks is from Namibia, Andrew. Do you want to say Samuel Matete, 400-meter hurdler? He's my favorite Zambian guy.
Samuel Matete.
Samuel Matete, yes.
My goodness.
A legend in the 400-meter hurdle. He used to beat Chris Akabusi all over the place. Yeah.
Awooga.
Oh, yeah. It's great to meet you. Hopefully you come back again, Kenny.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. It's been an amazing show and very great hospitality I received from you guys.
I think is Quintin Fortune and Gary Bailey not like sort of some of like Southern Africa's like best players? Like surely Quintin Fortune. Go on, Yabba.
Quintin, the problem with Quintin is that Quintin had an amazing spell at United, but he was playing in South Africa and we were slapping South Africa left, right, and center. So his international football wasn't that great.
And Gary Bailey, even though he's from the south of Africa, he actually played for England under 21s as well. So, and then obviously Bruce Grobler is from Zimbabwe. Yeah. So there's at a time during apartheid and that era, we had Gary Bailey come up and Bruce Grobler went and played for Liverpool. So there's a lot of talent down there. It's just I think if they get the structure right with the leagues down there, they could improve a lot. But there's definitely, we've got links. Obviously, Man United have links with feeder clubs in South Africa, don't we?
Yeah. So
yeah, we want to promote football in that part of the world because there's definitely a lot of talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and shout out Andrew Mensah. Does a lot of work in Ghana. Is it Ghana?
Yeah, I just want to shout out Andrew. I know he's probably watching, but Andrew, condolences. His father passed away recently, so they're flying back to Ghana to bury his dad in Ghana from London. Yeah, so big up to the Mensah family, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah, condolences to the family.
And also, on happier news, we've had Dora join us tonight. Dora, have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, as always. Yeah, but oh my god, it's so long. Like I need to go to sleep.
I've heard that before. I'm lying. I haven't.
Yeah. No. Oh, you are on a roll tonight. Yeah. No, I always have a good time, and great debut, Kenny. I enjoyed the conversation, and yeah, I will ignore these people.
When it's late when it starts going down that line, Dora. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like I'm with children sometimes, but okay. And yeah, great debut, Kenny, and I hopefully we see you more in the future.
No, thanks, Dora. I had an amazing time. I had a good chat with you as well. I'll ignore these guys. I don't want to be part of them. They've got immunity I don't have yet. So
for the love of please don't. Please don't.
Yeah. Right,
I got your back. I got your back.
Right, where can we find you, Kenny? Like, are you on social media? Are there any channels that you regularly
yeah,
feature on?
Overhead Kick TV on. You can just like my channel and also Instagram Overhead Kick TV, and that's where you find me. But mostly, I usually support Football Power Hour, Botswana Papi's channel, and yeah. Otherwise, I'm just your local neighborhood sports analyst.
Wicked. All right, it's lack a notch. We'll go in order. Yabba, start us off.
It's a lack a notch from me.
Like a notch from me.
Like a notch for moi.
Okay, continue bedtime. Oh my god, I messed up sorry. Lack a notch.